Hey guys, welcome to another video. This one's gonna be really short because I just want to show you guys something. When I show you this, hold a sec. When I show you guys this, I feel that, I don't know, this is part of the media, so maybe this is a lie, because the media lies. Call me whatever you want, okay? It is what it is. But what do you guys think about this? Read the title. Animals have more rights than children when it comes to smacking. What does that mean? And what do you guys think about that? That sounds, I don't know. I don't really have time to read it. Well, I probably do. I kinda can't be bothered to read it, but the way she said it, the way that title is stir, it just sounds like, I don't know, it just implies something. Something is not right with that title, I don't know what it is. Well, the titles just seems like it reads as if it implies that animals have more rights than humans. Like, a child can be hit, but an animal can't. I mean, it's very fine for the animal to have more rights, because obviously, if you hit an animal, my guy, you're an animal abuser, and that's not right. But I don't like, but the thing that's wrong with it is that it sounds like you're saying that it's fine to hit a child because animals have more rights than humans or something. I don't like the sound of that, because we're still humans. We're still humans, you know, and kids are also still humans, you know. You just gotta teach them, and hopefully, I think majority of the kids will grow out of it, but maybe not all, because people are different. Some people are horrible, some people are crazy, you know, and sometimes when you raise a kid, they don't go well, and you start noticing that they may be a narcissist, and if they are, then that's not a problem that you can fix. That's their own problem. You can try and fix that side of the kid, but 10 out of 10 you would not manage to fix the kid, so they're always gonna be that way, even when they move out, because narcissists, you can never change them. You can try, but most of the time you're not going to be able to. If you do, I'll be bloody shocked. My jaw will be hitting the floor if I see that you have successfully changed a narcissist into a kind, loving person or something. Narcissists are, I think they're horrible people. I think they're horrible. I don't get why people use the word family as an excuse to stay in contact with them, because no matter what you do, no matter how long you stay with them for and how much you try and love them and everything, etc., they're not gonna change. They're not gonna change. Also, if you look up the narcissist term, I'm going on a whole other thing here, but is that narcissists, they have an extreme lack of empathy. So no matter how long you try and fix them, they won't change, because they lack the empathy. And I always said that, but and no matter what, the more you expose to them, the more abuse you expose yourself to, because they're not gonna change. They don't give a fuck, and yeah, it's just best that when you live with a narcissist, you kick them out of your life, because they're not gonna change, and they lack extreme empathy. And the more exposed you are to it, the more exposed you are to abuse. They won't change. You'll just be hurting yourself more. And anyway, what was I saying? You know what? With that part where I said in the part where I say that when you raise a kid, if the kid ends up being a narcissist, then it's none of your fault, because you can't really fix that. It's not the parent's fault. It's the child as an individual kind of problem, not a you problem. I think I realized something after hearing myself say that. I think I have noticed a bit of flaw in that, because I'm pretty sure that how narcissists are created is that they have to be abused, emotionally, mentally abused, and that's what turns them into a narcissist. So thinking about it, if your kid turns into a narcissist, then maybe that's when you need to check what you're doing. Maybe you're doing something wrong. There's some, well, not, to be honest, I'm not a mother. I'm bloody 19 and I don't have a mother. I never had experience in teaching children or anything. I don't really like being around children because they're so loud, and sometimes when you're near a kid they have like tantrums, and I don't like being near children that have tantrums because they're loud. The tantrums make me uncomfortable because, like, you know, it makes me feel like, well, I can't really explain it. It just makes me uncomfortable when a kid has a tantrum, you know? I don't know why, but yeah. Narcissist. Oh, I see there's two different ones. Why is it, fuck's sake, this one asked that? I can't be bothered. Dude, I just wanna go. Well, actually, I think I see a flaw in that too. In what I just said, that narcissism is also a disorder. So it can be genetic. So it's not like a you problem. When you raise a kid, they turn out to be narcissism, they block you out of your life because of technically no reason. They just say, oh, it's because you do this, it's you do that, but you didn't do any of those things, and they just leave ya for no reason. So so there's a possibility that it's genetic, considering that it's a disorder. But I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that narcissists become narcissists because of how they were raised. They've been abused. If they have been like abused in the past life, as a child, by another narcissist, for an example, they become one. So yeah, there's two things to look for, I guess. So if your child becomes a narcissist, maybe have a little look at your behavior and make sure the things you have done didn't cause it, you know? But then again, it might not be a you problem. It might just be a verb problem, and it's just genetic, not a you problem. Well, where they got those narcissist genetics from is, I can't really answer for that, because who knows, it might be you, might be the grandparents or something, and I guess you don't know. Well, that's why I want to add to this, because when I listened to myself back, when I listened to myself say that, I noticed that maybe that did not sound good. It sounded like it had a flaw to that, so I just wanted to add this because, shush, I just wanted to add this to that because it didn't sound, because I noticed a flaw in it. I didn't want people to, I don't know, criticize me or something. I mean, it's YouTube, so I'm gonna get criticized whether I like it or not, eventually. It's because it's online, people do that, for whatever reason. So I just want to add this in there. I don't know if this fixes it. I don't know if I should have or not. And then I'm going on this good there. I don't know why I'm talking about narcissists when we were talking about the bloody thing. So what I'm trying to say is that title sounds like it implied that, hey, animals are better than humans, and kids, it is okay to hit them. It is okay to smack them because animals are better than humans and they have more rights than humans. I really don't like that. I don't really like that, because the kids, they may be annoying and all that, they may be absolutely terrors, but I don't think it's right for you to lay hands on a kid like that, like to smack them. I don't think it's good to hit them, you know? I don't think it is. The same for animals. If you hit a goddamn animal, you're an animal abuser. End of. That's end of story. There's no excuse for you to hit a dog or something, you know, like that, you know? Especially if it's like a rabbit or something, because those ones are like really innocent. not bad with feeding rabbits, I mean like animals that are like rabbits where they don't really attack you, or like sometimes they can because of defense, but you know what I mean, where dogs are kind of mostly known to be aggressive, some of them at least. But what I'm trying to say is I kind of don't like that because it makes me feel that in the future, maybe possibly near future, even as well right now, it sounds like the title gives off this vibe where it sounds like in the near future people are going to just hate other people, the other people are going to hate everyone, and others gonna hate everyone, and they're all gonna turn to animals, not into animals, but turn to animals for companionships. You know what? Companionship, if you know what I mean. Instead of interacting with other humans, they're gonna interact with animals more. In fact, they will like animals more than humans, meaning that other humans might disrespect other humans' boundaries and such. Like we won't care about other animals. I mean, not other animals. They won't care about other humans because of people valuing animals more than humans. I think it just gives me this vibe that humans are now going to turn to animals for companionship. I'm literally mixing words with other words. I don't know why I'm doing that. And when they do that, they isolate themselves away from other humans, and that thought is kind of sad when you think about it. Animals, I don't think they have the mental capacity, the intelligence to actually understand us. They may understand some things where they, like dogs, animals, I think they rely more on body language and tone of voice. They don't actually understand your words. Like when you get a dog, they won't understand what you mean when you say sit until you actually teach them the properly what sit means, you know what I mean? Or when you teach them certain words and try to teach them what those words mean. They won't learn because they don't understand them until they associate those words with, let's say you try and teach them that treat means they're gonna get a treat. They won't learn that until you start like grabbing treats each time you say the word treat. So then they learn that. So they learn to associate treat with the word treat, but associate with the fact that they are going to get treat. They don't understand actual human language. I think some people think that animals do, but I don't think we do. They just rely off of body language and tone of voice, and with animals like dogs, like I said, I think they will have to like learn to associate what things mean what with each some words. Like they learn to sit. Associate the word sit by actually sitting, and you teach them to sit, you know, not just to say sit and they just like stare at you because you don't actually understand the word. And you have to teach them that. They don't just come with the package knowing sit means sit, you know what I mean? But I'm trying to say that dogs will only associate some words with other certain words if you teach them to associate those words with something. I don't know, like treats. You mention the word treat and they will associate that treat with getting a treat because they have learned that when you say treat, you're going to give them a treat. You know what I mean? This is really complicated for me to say because like I feel like whatever I say, it's just gonna go full flat and it's not gonna sound right, but I'm trying my best to explain it, what I'm trying to say. They will need to associate. They will only associate sit with actually sitting if you actually teach them to sit. If you just yell at them to sit, they won't sit until you teach them what sitting is. I think it's that you push the butt on the ground when you say sit, and that's how they learn it, and you keep doing that each time you say sit until they start sitting on their own. When you tell them to sit, well, I don't really know how to explain because I'm not a dog trainer. But that was just an example, and just gonna give you advice. If you, for some reason, came here for dog training advice, don't get them from me. Get them from an actual dog professional trainer, not me, because I I haven't really had the experience in dog training, and I don't know all the stuff about dog training or about dogs alone. I know some things about dogs, but I'm not an expert on them. I haven't studied them. Well, I have learned a few things about them, but I think it's best for you take advice from a dog professional trainer, not me, okay? Don't take it from me, take it from a dog professional trainer, because I don't want to accidentally cause harm to real life dogs in case if people take this advice. I don't really expect people to, but hopefully we don't, because I'm not a dog professional trainer. I am not. Take it from a natural professional dog trainer, because once again, I'm not a dog expert. I have never taught. I train a dog. They're hard to train. Well, at least it is with older dogs. Younger dogs are easy to train. This is kind of complicated to explain, so I hope that as I'm talking, I am not saying some things that are wrong. Some things that are wrong and they don't make sense. I mean, I'm a person that probably most of the things that I say don't make sense, because I like to mix words with other words, you know, kind of like what Jacksepticeye said in one of his videos, where he said that he now says words with another word, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard, mix a word with a word, you know what I mean? I find sometimes I think I do that, well, I don't know, and that I am not a person that you probably shouldn't be going to for facts, because I think I'm pretty dumb. I don't know a lot of things, so I would just be giving you what I think, but those thoughts that I share may not be true, you know what I mean? So maybe it is best if you like look it up. Maybe don't rely on me for things when you watch my videos. I don't know, dude. If you even got to this point in this video, this is probably your first video, because I don't really expect people to watch all my videos. I just upload what I want, because yeah, I don't know. You do what you want. You do what you want, my friend. Cause I don't know. I don't really know. I think this is all I have to say for this part. I don't know. Thing is, I don't like the sound of that people turning into turning to animals more than humans, because I'm not saying it's wrong to. I do understand why people do that, because there's a lot of bastards out there's a lot of horrible people out there, and etc. So I do understand why people do that, but I mean it as if more people do that, the majority of the population turning to animals for companionship rather than talking with humans. That's what I mean. Because if you are that, kind of feels like they're isolating themselves from other people. Because at least with a human, when you talk to your problems or talk about your problems with them, they will understand it. They will understand what you mean. And if you have met the right person, it feels good. It feels better when somebody who understands your problems, that, you know, someone understands you, and that feels better than it going into like just no one's there to listen to you, nobody understands you, nobody understands your problems, that kind of thing. Well, I'm kind of a person that likes to share issues with those that relates to me, and not those that don't, because the people that don't relate to me, I think are most likely to just be dismissive. You know what I mean? So I don't know if saying that has anything to do with what I just said, but I feel like it did. So yeah, because at least with humans, that when you talk about your problems to the humans, if you find the right person, because obviously there's a lot of dickheads out there's a lot of bad people out there who just like doesn't give a fuck about you, and there's even some that pretend to like you and technically camouflage. They made themselves out to be the best person on earth. They made themselves out to be joyful, blah 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 blah, whatever you know, you name it, and they turn out to be dickheads in the end, bastards. But if you find the right person, at least then the words that the problems you say to them isn't going into for no one to hear, for no one to understand, for no one to comfort you, they're actually falling on live ears. And that person, and if that like the person, if they is the right person, if they are the right person to talk to, obviously, because some people you shouldn't really say your problems to or share anything with, because they could use it against you, if depending who we are, especially if they are narcissists. If they are narcissists, don't share shit with them, don't share anything with them. Share your problems with your friends that you trust, not a narcissist, because they'll just use it against you. They will. So anyway, so if he is the, well, not he, but if they are the right person, they will understand your problems, and you'll be able to share your problems with them, and it won't be falling on deaf ears. And yeah, I think it's just better when you tell other people your problems, rather than falling onto deaf ears. If you know what I mean. I think what I'm trying to say is that when you turn to animals for companionship and isolate yourself from human activity completely, or maybe not completely, but mostly, and if you have problems, issues, mental health issues, or whatever you name it, but if you tell an animal that, they won't understand it. It's setting for on deaf ears because they don't understand that. Well, they will understand why you're upset, because if you're like upset because they rely on tone of voice and maybe and body language, but they won't understand what exactly those words are. But humans will, other people will, because they are your species. So I think it's better. In my opinion, I think it is better when you share your problems with a human, because at least you know that they understand what you mean, and that they actually listen to those words and they consider them, and that when you tell them your problems, they can comfort you, and they actually know what you mean, like what you're saying, and maybe tell you what they know, if they know anything. I don't know if I possibly projecting, by the way, just to put it out there, because I don't know. Also, I forgot what I was gonna say. God damn it. Cause that just sounds like people are going to turn against each other and not give a fuck about each other's boundaries, and go haywire on others. I don't know, this is me imagining a scenario in my head, but it doesn't really sound that great. It just sounds like, it just makes me think that if we think that way, that it's good to hit a child because you think that animals have more rights than a human. Honestly, I think if you think that way, I think that both animals and humans should have like the same rights as each other. Make it equal instead of making one more than the other, because saying that sounds like you're saying that it's good to abuse other humans, either it's mentally or physically, but you must treat animals like gods, that kind of thing. It's kind of hard to explain it, but that's what it sounds like. I don't like that. I don't like the sound of that, because it just sounds like shit. And about the dog, about the thing where I said about people turning to animals for companionship, if you do that, that's perfectly fine. I am not making this video to just take a massive shit on those people just because I don't like them or whatever. I don't mind those people. It's just for the fact that what if the majority of Earth, not Earth, not the planet, the majority of people turn away from others and just isolate themselves and just turn to animals for companionship and isolate themselves from humans, because that title of that article is what gives those vibes to me. Like every time when I see something like that article I just read, that's the kind of vibe that I get of what if the majority of Earth turns away, majority of humans just turn away from each other and isolate themselves from other humans and just turn to animals for companionship. So yeah, that's what the vibe I get. I don't really know what else to say, so I might just end it here,